Susan's phone buzzed on the arm of the couch. A ring notification. Robert's flight should have already taken off. She opened the app. Grainy footage showed a man in a polo shirt lugging 2 cardboard boxes up the front walk. It was Robert.
He never left. He's been here the whole time.
3 days earlier, over coffee, Robert had dropped the news.
I have to fly out Friday. Last-minute client emergency in Houston. I am sorry, Susan.
She'd just stared at him, the word anniversary caught in her throat.
But that's our anniversary weekend. The restaurant, the whole plan.
I know. I hate it too, but it's non-negotiable. I'll make it up to you.
She'd forced a smile and said it was fine, but it wasn't.
Now, the doorbell proved he'd been lying all along. What else is a lie?
Later that day, another ring notification jolted her. Then another. She opened the timeline in dread. The first clip showed a man in dusty overalls following Robert through the front door, a toolbox in each hand. Then came the clip that sent ice through her veins. Robert and the stranger hefting enormous rolls of turf toward the side gate.
Turf. He hates yard work. What is he doing?
She replayed the earlier clip, pausing it frame by frame. Near the contractor's feet, something was rolled up. A banner.
It said, 20, the rest was folded. Her mind raced to dark possibilities. An affair, a secret party, something she wasn't meant to see.
Her thumb hovered over the call button, but she pulled back. Calling him now would only give him a chance to lie again. She stood by the front window, watching the street. He would come home eventually, and she would be ready.
No more calls, no more excuses. I'm going to catch him in the act. Whatever he's hiding, I'll find out tonight.
Instead of waiting, Susan grabbed her phone and dialed Robert.
Hi, honey. Just checking you got checked in. What hotel are you at?
The one near the airport. Listen, I am about to walk into a meeting.
Which one exactly? I need it for the family calendar.
I'll text you later, okay? Gotta go.
The line went dead. She opened his email account on her laptop, searching for any trace of a Houston trip. No flight confirmations. No hotel reservation. The trip existed only in his words. She called her closest friend, voice cracking on the first ring.
He's been lying. The ring camera shows him at our house with contractors and turf. Something is going on.
Her friend advised patience. Don't confront him yet. Wait until he comes home and catch him off guard. Susan agreed, dread coiling tighter. The next afternoon, her phone buzzed again. A new motion alert. She opened it with a trembling hand. The clip showed Robert wrestling a large wooden arch covered in white flowers through the front door.
Flowers. An arch. This is for a wedding. A vow renewal, but not for me.
The next day, she left work at noon, drove straight home, and parked 2 blocks away, the Ring app open on her lap. At 2:15, Robert's truck turned onto their street. He parked in the driveway. No luggage, no briefcase. He unloaded a bag from the cab, then unlocked the front door and disappeared inside without a backward glance.
No airport shuttle for you.
She gripped the steering wheel, counting to 100, summoning the nerve to go in after him.
If he's building a secret life, I need to see it for myself.
She finally opened the car door and walked toward the house. Every nerve in her body screaming to turn back. She unlocked the front door with painstaking slowness, slipping inside like a ghost. Dusty work boots were kicked off by the mat. Robert's. The hallway was silent except for a distant hammering. She followed the sound past the kitchen, pulse loud in her ears. Through the back door window she saw him, kneeling in the dirt, a trowel in one hand, wiping sweat with the other.
He's been here the entire time, building something, hiding something.
She shoved the door open. It slammed against the wall. Robert's head whipped around, eyes wide.
Robert, what is all this? I saw the ring clips, the boxes, the contractor, the floral arch. Explain, now.
He dropped the trowel. It clattered on the stone. His mouth opened, but only a choked sound emerged. He looked utterly panicked, like a man caught red-handed with no lie ready.
It's not what it looks like. Just a work project. Team building.
team building in our backyard with roses. Who is she, Robert?
She shoved past him and stopped. Stones piled everywhere, turf unrolled, a white arch against the fence.
Is this for another woman? Are you building a garden for someone else?
No, God, no, there's no one else. I swear on our kids' lives.
The yard looked like a construction site. Pallets of stone, mortar bags, the banner half hidden under a tarp.
Then why lie? You faked a work trip on our anniversary. Just tell me the truth.
Robert's face crumbled. For a split second, he looked like he would confess everything, but he clamped his mouth shut, eyes glistening, and just shook his head. Susan stood frozen, anger and confusion warring inside her as Robert stared at the ground.
I saw the clips, the boxes, the banner. I thought you were having an affair. I thought our marriage was over.
Robert's face crumpled completely, a tear streaking through the dust on his cheek.
Susan, there's no work trip. I never left town.
What?
I've been here every day, working on something. But I can't tell you why. Not yet.
You can't tell me why? You lied about a trip. You've been hiding here for days, and you can't tell me?
It's not bad, I promise. It's the opposite of bad. But if I tell you now, I ruin everything.
Then show me. Don't make me guess anymore.
Robert took a shaky breath, his resolve splitting like the stones around them. One more word and he'd spill everything. But he didn't. Instead, he reached for her hand, his fingers cold and trembling, and led her toward the back door. He pushed the back door open and stepped aside, his eyes never leaving hers.
I was building the garden patio you've always dreamed of. For our 20th anniversary.
The half-hidden banner now lay fully open on the grass, 20 years forever, in white script.
You were building this for us.
I wanted to surprise you with a place where we could renew our vows. I thought I could keep it secret.
Susan's hand fell from her mouth, the anger drained, replaced by a sob that came from somewhere deep.
Oh, Robert, I thought. I am so sorry. The doorbell. I thought the worst.
I should have told you. I just wanted it to be perfect, for you. And I ruined it by lying.
She stepped into the mud, not caring, and wrapped her arms around him. The half-built arch stood over them like a promise.
Our doorbell caught the best thing he's ever done.
They clung to each other in the mud, shoes forgotten, until the sobs faded into quiet, shuddering breaths.
I am so embarrassed and so sorry. I let my worst fears run away with me.
No, I am the one who should apologize. I never meant to make you feel unloved or suspicious. The plan was to finish the patio, get the kids to set up, and then renew our vows right here on our anniversary.
They sank onto the half-laid stone steps, hands intertwined, the chaotic yard now feeling like a shared secret.
So the doorbell was your accomplice and your traitor all at once.
Turns out our security system has a very big mouth.
When do we finish it?
Together. Starting now, if you want. The kids are already sworn to secrecy.
She leaned her head on his shoulder, and the knot that had been clenched in her chest for days finally loosened. Morning light filtered through the kitchen windows. Susan sat at the table, staring into her coffee, shame prickling at the edges of her memory.
I feel so stupid, Robert. I should have trusted you.
You weren't stupid. I was sneaking around like a spy. You had every reason to be suspicious.
He slid the kitchen calendar across the table. Only 4 days left until their anniversary. The backyard was still a raw construction site, far from the vision he had painted for her.
Then let's finish it together. I want to help.
Are you sure? It's a lot of heavy lifting.
I've never been more sure. We'll get the kids in on it too. They already know, don't they?
Robert nodded, a tired smile breaking through. By noon, they had changed into old clothes and stepped into the sun. Susan picked up a trowel for the first time in her life, and Robert showed her how to level the stones. Over the next 2 days, Susan learned to lay pavers with surprising precision, her hands soon caked with mortar.
You two are disgustingly cute.
Tyler volunteered to hang the string lights, but immediately managed to tangle himself in the wires.
Careful. We need those lights working for the ceremony, not to rescue you.
By the second day, half the patio was laid, and a rhythm had settled between them, a wordless dance of stone and sweat. Then dark clouds rolled in without warning, thunder cracking overhead. They scrambled to haul tarps over the uncovered stone, hammering stakes into the softening ground as rain lashed down.
What if the mortar doesn't set? All our work could be ruined by morning.
The rain stopped as suddenly as it started, leaving a muddy swamp where the patio had been. But the stones held. They stood ankle deep in sludge, surveying the damage, and then Robert started to laugh, a helpless, exhausted sound that pulled Susan in. The rain had stopped, leaving the yard a swamp of mud and shredded leaves. Exhausted, they sank onto the half-built stone steps as dusk fell.
It's still not finished. The arch is crooked. The grout's still wet. This isn't the vision I had for you.
I don't care about perfect. This is the most beautiful thing anyone's ever done for me.
She reached over and brushed a smear of dried mud from his cheek, her touch lingering.
I should have just told you from the beginning. All the sneaking around, it nearly broke us.
It nearly did, but it also proved how far you'd go for me. That's worth more than a perfect patio forever.
They sat in silence, the unlit string lights above them a quiet reminder of the work still undone.
No more big secrets. Only small surprises from now on. Like breakfast in bed.
Or a new book you think I'd like, those kind of surprises.
He stood, pulling her gently to her feet, and they walked inside hand in hand, leaving the patio to cure under a clearing sky. Anniversary morning. Under strict orders, Susan waited inside, listening to the muffled sounds of the final touches being placed just beyond the back door.
Keep her busy until 6. No peeking.
The scent of roses is drifting through the house. Whatever they're building, it's almost ready.
She opened the old wedding album, tracing their younger faces, 20 years of love that almost cracked under the weight of a good secret.
Emma, the chairs have to be lined up. Mom will notice if they're even an inch off.
A sudden gust swept across the patio, knocking a vase to the stones with a sickening crack. They froze, then dove to reset it before the sun dropped lower. At 6 o'clock, Emma slipped into the living room, a folded note pinched between her fingers.
Dad said to give you this.
The note was in Robert's handwriting. Meet me in the garden.
It's time.
She walked down the darkened hallway, the note trembling in her grip, the scent of roses growing stronger with every step. Her hand paused on the cool metal of the back door. On the other side was the final surprise. She pushed it open, and the backyard had become a fairy tale. Twinkling string lights crisscrossed overhead. The white arch stood straight, flowers spilling around its base, and candles flickered along the new stone path. And there, at the end of the path, stood Robert in his best suit, waiting with a nervous smile.
Happy anniversary, my love.
This is what he was building, not a betrayal. Our dream.
She couldn't finish the sentence. Her hand flew to her mouth as tears streamed down. Emma and Tyler peeked from the hallway, holding their giggles, watching their mother's shock through the open doorway.
Come, let me show you.
She took his hand, still trembling, and together they walked to the flower-draped arch where a longtime family friend already waited with a worn leather book.
I promise to never fake a work trip again. Unless I am building you another patio.
Emma and Tyler both snorted, and Susan laughed through her tears.
And I promise to trust you, even when the doorbell says you are up to no good.
Tyler stepped forward, holding a small velvet pillow with 2 simple rings. They slid the new bands onto each other's fingers, right next to the original ones that had already circled these hands for 20 years. The family friend, voice thick with emotion, pronounced them renewed. The small gathering, the kids, a neighbor, Robert's sister, burst into applause so loud it startled a bird from the oak tree.
20 years, and somehow this is the best one.
He pulled her into a kiss under the arch, the string lights flickering like 1,000 tiny promises. A cork popped, and champagne frothed over the rim as Robert filled their glasses under the twinkling lights.
Turns out our doorbell is the biggest snitch in the neighborhood.
Look at this one. Dad stuffed behind a box twice his size.
Robert struck a ridiculous pose, pretending to drag an invisible pallet of stones across the patio.
And I sat on the couch thinking you were having an affair. The humiliation.
Emma slid a small cake onto the table, a single candle shaped like a 2 and a 0.
Best fake work trip ever, Dad.
Susan fed Robert the first bite, and he repaid her by smearing frosting on her nose. Everyone gathered for a group selfie, the doorbell camera lurking in the background like a guilty accomplice.
This is the story we'll tell at every anniversary for the rest of our lives.
The guests had gone home, the last champagne flute abandoned on the table. Only Susan and Robert remained, sitting on the edge of the stone patio they had built together.
I almost ruined the best surprise of my life.
Almost. But the doorbell saved it, in the weirdest way.
They both chuckled. The sound light and free for the first time in days. The weight of the misunderstanding finally lifted. Susan watched the string lights sway in the breeze, their warm glow painting the garden in gold.
I am grateful for that stupid camera. Without it, we wouldn't have this story.
We'd just have a patio. And a very confused wife.
He kissed her temple, and she closed her eyes, letting the tension of the past week drain away.
This is the memory I'll keep. Not the suspicion, the joy.
They stayed like that, wrapped in silence, as the lights above them blinked their quiet celebration. Susan pulled out her phone and opened the Ring app, scrolling back to the earliest clip with a grin.
Look at you, sneaking around like a cartoon burglar.
The grainy footage played between them, Robert hefting the boxes, his face caught mid-grimace.
My starring role as the suspicious boxman.
He stood and struck the same awkward pose from the video, arms straining under an invisible weight. Laughing, she tapped the heart icon on the clip. The screen pulsed pink, saving the moment forever.
You are going to show that at our next anniversary party, aren't you?
Absolutely. And every party after that.
He dropped the pose and kissed the top of her head, his laughter rumbling against her hair.
The doorbell didn't expose a betrayal. It captured the making of our best chapter, frame by frame.
A week later, Susan called her mother, still giddy, still replaying the clips.
Mom, you will not believe what Robert pulled off for our anniversary.
She recounted the whole tangled mess, the fake work trip, the suspicious ring alerts, the half-built patio reveal. On the other end, her mother's laughter spiraled until she was gasping for breath.
He built me a garden, Mom. A whole garden. And I thought he was having an affair.
Her mother managed to wheeze about the absurdity of it all, an elaborate surprise nearly torpedoed by a doorbell.
I know, I am an idiot, but it's the best mistake I've ever made.
By the time she hung up, the story was already spreading through the family group chat, punctuated by crying laugh emojis. It would be told at every holiday for generations, the anniversary when Dad faked a work trip to build Mom a patio.
And all of it caught on a doorbell camera. The best plot twist of our lives.
One ordinary morning, with the sun streaming through the kitchen windows, Susan spotted a familiar sticky note on the counter. Check the doorbell for a message. Err. Curiosity ignited. She grabbed her phone from the counter and thumbed open the Ring app. A fresh motion alert waited at the top. She tapped it, and the screen filled with the live patio view. The grainy doorbell feed showed Robert standing on their beautifully finished patio, holding up a large handwritten sign. He was grinning from ear to ear, and the sign read in bold letters, "Still not a work trip." She let out a loud, surprised laugh that echoed through the kitchen, tears pricking at the corners of her eyes.
You are absolutely ridiculous.
Still shaking her head in delighted disbelief, she typed a quick text. "You are ridiculous. I love you." His reply buzzed back instantly before she could even set the phone down. That's the point. Later that evening, as they sat together on the patio, Susan had an idea. She opened her phone's photo app and created a new folder.
Look, our own making of documentary.
She tapped through the saved clips, the first mysterious box delivery, the contractor with tools, the turf rolls. The timeline unfolded. The rainy chaos, the crooked arch, the moment she burst onto the scene. It ended with Robert's grin on the morning of their anniversary, holding the sign, "Still not a work trip."
It's like a thriller that turns into a rom-com.
The best kind.
She tapped the heart icon once more, finalizing the album. A tiny digital album sat on her home screen now, labeled "The Making of Our Garden," with a little heart beside it.
Proof that the worst fears can hide the best surprises.
On a warm summer night, months later, their patio was filled with the sounds of a barbecue. Guests laughing, burgers sizzling, kids chasing each other. A neighbor, admiring the lush garden, asked Susan how it all came together.
Funny you should ask. I have the entire thing on video.
She connected her phone to the outdoor television, and the first grainy ring clip flickered to life. They watched the whole absurd saga. The mysterious boxes, the floral arch, the rainstorm that nearly washed it away, and the guests howled with laughter. Through it all, Susan's eyes found Robert's. He was already looking at her, a tender, amused smile on his face. Later, after the last car pulled away, they sat together in the stillness, the string lights casting a soft glow.
I love you.
I know, even when the doorbell says otherwise.
The final image was the doorbell camera's view of the front porch, where a new welcome mat now read, "No surprises, except good ones."